Hello, I am alive again. I've had such a reset weekend. Also, this seems to be my Monday jumper. I'm pretty sure I wore this like a couple of weeks ago. But hello, welcome. I'm happy to be here. Today, we're actually going to talk relationships. But first, welcome. If you're here live, say hi in the chat so we can vibe. If this is your first time joining for one of these lives, then know that we're doing them every week, or most weeks at least right now. Currently on Mondays, but that will likely change in the new year when I'm changing a few dates and days around. And these live streams are just really an opportunity for me to just casually share something that feels alive, and also for you to ask me any questions that you have, and to kind of, have this be a two-way street, which is not really possible when I'm just, preparing my pre-filmed weekly videos for you. Also, if you are new to my channel as a whole, then welcome again. My name is Lorena. I am a self-concept coach, and I support women to step into a new identity, a new self-concept from a really integrated place, emotionally integrated, physically integrated, mentally integrated, where all of you essentially is aligned with your new self and ultimately a new reality and any desires or manifestations that you want to make happen. If you're joining us regularly, by the way, then welcome also. I love you and I appreciate you. I really, really do. Okay, so feel free to engage and ask any questions. I'm so here for you today. Before we get into the topic, which, as I said, is all about relationships, I just wanted to share real quick. I've had such a weekend of like reset and getting back to balance. I noticed, I don't know about you, but like it's pre-holiday time right now, and for me, like it's been quite stressful. I've had quite a lot on, quite a lot to do. My schedule has been pretty full, all in good ways. I'm currently doing a training which takes about 6 hours a week. It's a new practitioner training that I'm doing to kind of enhance my coaching skills. I am also receiving coaching from my own coaches for 2 hours per week. And I am coaching my own clients, which is currently 7 calls per week for Recreate Yourself, which, that's a lot of hours. And then all of the other things I have to do, plus, the things on the side, like having a life and socializing and preparing for the holidays. So it's been quite full on the last few weeks. And this weekend, I really noticed, or I didn't notice, my body was just like, whoop. It just went all the way down. And it was like, babe, you need to take a freaking break. And so I had to. And I wanted to share this with you because it made me reflect on the fact that we need balance in our lives. If we're going, if we're doing, but we don't take a step back to pour into ourselves, to rest, to receive, then nothing is going to flow. And the other way around, if you're just chilling and you're getting nothing done, right? If you're not moving towards your desires, if you're not taking action, then also nothing is going to happen because you're just going to be sitting there and waiting. And so it was really fitting that this happened to me this weekend, because last week, I don't know if you've seen it on my community tab here on YouTube, or if you follow me on Instagram. If you don't, it's linked below. Please follow me. You may have seen that I announced a free 3-day, that way around, a free 3-day masterclass series that I'm doing this week. It's starting on Thursday. So if you're watching this live, or time sensitively, is that a word? If you're watching this near to that time, then make sure you sign up. It's going to be amazing. I'm really excited for it. It's going to be 3 calls, 3 days in a row, where we're going to dive deep into how to create the dynamic balance between the states of surrender and persistence. Because as I said, you need both. So we're going to have 2 master classes, and then 1 call is going to be entirely dedicated to a Q&A, so you can ask all of the questions that may have come up. Hi, Tarun. Good to see you. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. Yeah, so if you want to join that free masterclass series to get yourself set up for the new year and kind of, like create that state of balance or equilibrium, that's what the name of the masterclass is as well, then make sure you check out the link in the description box below. I'm also going to put it in the comments after we finish this live, and I would love to have you there. I'm really excited for it. Okay, now now that is done, that's what I wanted to say. Let's get into the topic for today, which is going to be about relationships. And relationships, it's one of my favorite topics, and that's because everything in life is about relationships. When we speak about relationships, especially in the manifestation world, but in life in general, right? Like in society in general, there's often this idea that it's about romantic relationships, and romantic relationships can definitely be one of the biggest mirrors for us. I'm sure many of you will have experienced this, that you may have, been in relationship to another person, and they've reflected all your freaking insecurities back to you, all the things that you were afraid of, all the things that you maybe didn't like about yourself, all the things that you had resistance to. Romantic relationships can definitely be the biggest mirror, but it's important to also remember that everything in life is about relationships, and that doesn't even only apply to people. It's also with things, right? Money, experiences, patterns, everything. The relationships that you have to anything or anyone in your life are a reflection of the self-concept that you're operating from. So whatever self-concept you're embodying, that will show up in your relationships, and most likely it will show up strongest in the relationships that you have the strongest emotional attachment or emotional connection to. So this is why romantic relationships tend to be the biggest mirror, because that's where we have like the strongest emotional attachment or connection very often. But it also applies to other things, right? Like it also applies to how you, for example, deal with money. The self-concept you have will show up in everything in your life, which is why, my teachings revolve all around your self-concept, and the manifestation piece is just a side effect, because the moment you shift your self-concept, the rest is truly going to fall into place. And I have seen this in such big ways in my own life, and I'm going to share a little bit about my journey in a moment as well. But the thing is, if you keep experiencing the same relationships, and the thing is, honestly, you may think that whatever pattern you're experiencing in your romantic life, that you only experience that there. I hear this often from people. Well, my friendships are fine, but, it's my love life. Or, my work is fine, but it's my love life. But I can promise you, you're experiencing the same pattern elsewhere too. Be that in friendships, with family, at work, with money. Look at it. Even if the patterns are subtle, they have similarities, and that's because the root will absolutely be the same. So, for example, if you're codependent in your romantic relationships, that will present itself in pretty big ways in your romantic relationships, but it will likely show up in subtle ways in other relationships also. It just won't manifest the same, and so it appears like it's not the same pattern, but most likely it is. And the root that I'm talking about that is the same, that's your self-concept, which is why I was speaking about it, right? In other words, if you're experiencing the same patterns in your relationships, then your relationships are staying the same because you have not changed your self-concept. the people and things around you reflect the self-concept you embody. So if you want to change your relationships or anything in your life long term, you need to change your self-concept. And if you don't see a change around you and you've been working on this for a while, you have not changed your self-concept, or at least not to the extent that you were desiring to, or that, like maybe something big underneath hasn't changed or shifted. And I'll share my own story in this context a little bit as well, because a few years ago, maybe like a couple of years ago, I've been on this journey for a while, right? Like I've been on a self-concept journey for a while, but I would say like a couple of years ago, I really cracked the code. And I do actually have a video about my story in greater detail, but a few years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, everything in my life shifted radically. And everything is not an exaggeration. My romantic relationships changed. I had a really big breakup a couple of years ago, which almost broke me, but like it broke me open, and it shifted the relationships or relationship dynamics that I was calling in amazingly. It's actually really beautiful. So my romantic relationships have changed. I have almost none of the friends anymore that I had 5 years ago. Almost none. I'm doing different work, right? Like I was working a corporate job, which I actually really loved. But, I'm doing this now. I'm sitting in front of you now. This is my job. I'm living in a different place. I bought my own place, which is kind of wild as well. All of this, here's the kicker, right? All of this pretty much happened at once. It all happened in the time span of maybe most of it happened in the time span of like 6 months or something. And that's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. That's because it was all triggered through a shift in my self-concept. Now, this process was not comfortable. I had to navigate a lot of things because the old had to die before the new could emerge, which is what it's always like. A lot of people try to change their self-concept, but they don't dismantle their current self or their current identity. And if that is the case, if you don't peel off all these layers, nothing new can be embodied, because you're still, it's occupying the space. Your old self is occupying the space still. So it was hard because the old had to die before the new could emerge, as I said. But it was so worth it, because I have never been this happy with myself and my life. And it all came from this transformation in myself and of myself. And it changed everything. So if you want to change the way you relate to others and how others relate to you, if you want to change the way you treat others and how you are treated, how others treat you, then the secret is truly in your self-concept. I cannot stress this enough. I cannot, talk about this enough. So that's my big message and story for the day. Sorry, I keep rubbing my screen because it's like a bit dirty. I need to clean my laptop. So if you have any questions, let me know. Leave me a comment. Let me know how this landed for you. And don't forget to register for Equilibrium. This is starting on Thursday this week. It's a 3-day live event. It's completely free of charge. And whether it's a relationship that you're manifesting or something else, or whether you're wanting to persist in a specific identity or self-concept, Equilibrium will serve you, because it's all about, as I said, striking the balance between surrender and persistence. And if you've ever been to any of my events before, you know that I always give as much as possible, whether it's paid or whether it's free. I treat it the same. So if you know, you know. And here's the kicker as well. I haven't mentioned this yet. you will have the opportunity when you join this event to receive a free 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with me. That's kind of wild. I've never offered this before. And I'm going to tell you at the event how you can apply for this. And the first 5 suitable people, meaning the ones who I believe are the best fit and can benefit the most from a coaching session with me, the first 5 will receive the free coaching session. So come and join. It's going to be worth it. As I said, link is below, and come live so you can take advantage of possibly getting one of the one-on-one call slots as well. So I hope you have a magical start to your week. Actually, I might miss doing this on Mondays. This is like a nice fresh start to the week, but we'll see how it goes. And yeah, I love you very much, and I am excited to see you again next week.